My name is Randy Kraft, and I'm the group's pastor for Crosspoint Church. Well, if you look at Scripture, even back in the book of Acts, it talks about the importance of doing life together. They talked about in Acts that they met in the temple courts, which is the equivalent of like our weekend experience, and they also met from house to house. And so that house-to-house model is that church, that kind of, I'm going to get to know the people I'm with. And in a church setting, no matter what church size they go to, you can go on a weekend and be lost and not be known by anyone. But in a community group with 6, 7, 8, 10 people, it's really hard to hide. And so that's the opportunity where God's talking about we need other people in our lives to do life together, and how God uses our experiences to help others in that authentic community. That can happen. So our group dynamic, how we base them is there's a couple different variables. By and large, the majority of our groups are arranged by affinity. So we have things like a mixed group, which is, your singles, couples kind of coming together. And those are for the people that want to experience variety. The wisdom of an older person, but also can make connections with people their own age, or vice versa. Maybe they're an older individual that feels like they want to help disciple and grow younger people. It's just a mixed blend of people. We also have young adult groups, which are one of our most popular groups here at Crosspoint, and that we say is an age range of 22 to 35 years old. So it's not so much college kids or college students, but young adults. And that, again, is men and women coming together. Some may be couples, singles, but it's that whole young adult age. Well, I think what I've seen, and I don't know if this is entirely true, but what my perception is that the young adult community is very philanthropic in nature. So they want to be a part of something bigger than them. And I think with Crosspoint, Pete, he speaks to that generation. He's hip, he uses language and engages people that fits the young adult generation. The music style here for the weekend experience fits that younger generation. But bigger picture, the fact that Crosspoint, one has a motto that says everyone's welcome, because no one's perfect, but anything's possible. The fact that we're willing to engage anyone and everyone, but then more importantly, the fact that we are a church that gives back. We focus on how do we serve Nashville and the world well. And so I see young adults really passionate about that. They want causes, they want things that they can get behind that's bigger than just who they are. And I really believe that Crosspoint does that pretty well. And that's their heartbeat. And one of the things that they really emphasize is the missional community, the missional mindset of an individual. I got a lot of dreams and a lot of goals. One of the things that I hope, obviously I mentioned earlier, is ideally having everyone connected in community groups. Crosspoint, we say that we are a church of community groups, not a church with community groups. And what that means is that we are about community. And so Pastor Pete will say on stage, we don't gauge success by how many people we line up in rows, but how many we circle up in homes.